Hello everybody, Cooper here, and welcome back to another episode of Youth to Gold here on Cricket Captain 2024. Hope you're all doing very well today. Today, we've got the first, I think we've got 4 games today of the Vitality Blast here with Northamptonshire. Our first game is up against Derbyshire, who, if we look at the Blast table last year in our group, Derbyshire, where are they? They came 5th in the group, so just outside of a playoff spot. Who won it last year? I assume it's someone from the south. It was Somerset that won it last year. Now, if you've been watching the series up until this point, you will know that we've played exclusively first-class matches up until today. There are going to be some changes to the team. A few players have come back from injury. I think it's David Willey has come back from injury. He's actually not retired from first-class cricket, so had he been healthy, he would have been playing for us. So it's good to have him back. But we also get some players back on T20 contracts, that being Prithvi Shaw and Raza, whose first name I do not recall. The changes to the 11 are so on screen. We've got Chris Follett, who is our wonder kid, who we love very much. He is an opener in one day in T20 cricket. He's had an excellent start to his career. Last episode wasn't so great with the back end of it, I should say. He opened the back end of last episode and wasn't great, although he did do a couple of other cool things. But his batting form, other than that, has been, we could not have asked for a better start. He either gets out below 20 or makes a half-decent score. And he's at 100% match form, so we cannot argue with what he has produced so far. But if we have a look at, I don't want to say our previous players that we've had playing first-class cricket. So if we go current year, Bartlett's out, Gay's out, he got dropped towards the last episode. Now, I've decided to bring Prithvi Shaw, who's been in the IPL. He was injured for a little bit. He's in okay-ish form, had a rough sort of middle patch, but you can see either end of the graphs there are high scores, so it's not as if he's in bad nick. And we've also brought in Ashton Agar, just for another spin option as well. So Karun Nair, who has been our overseas player at first class level, he is currently out, as is Liam McManus, but he's been out for ages. Is it Liam or Lewis? Lewis McManus, I think I did that last time. Proctor's out. He does not have a good T20 record whatsoever. Really defensive player, is not going to help me in this situation. Chris Tremaine, I believe, is retired from T20 cricket. No, he's not. He's a reserve. That would what be that is. So it's Prithvi Shaw, he's not a T20 player, so that is a shame to lose Chris Tremaine like that. It means we've got to find another bowler somewhere else. Siddharth Kaul, he is another overseas player, so he might be the first class player that comes in when Ashton Agar comes out. That will probably be it. White also hasn't been very good in the 3 games he's played at first class level and has not yet played at T20 level, and I don't really have a desire to. But if we look at T20 players this year, Raza, 19 with the bat, 30 with the ball. If you flip those around, I'd probably pick him, but at this stage, we're not going to pick him. And Prithvi Shaw, 33.86 with the bat, 164 strike rate. Can't really argue with those results. We now have the toss of the coin. We've got a home fixture, so it will be seaming around a little bit. Obviously, the pitch won't deteriorate as much as it ordinarily would in a first-class game, but I forgot to mention the players that we have brought in. So we've got obviously Prithvi Shaw, Zabe's still in, David Willey's come in from injury, and we've also brought in Ravi Bopara, who is English, but is only going to be eligible to play T20s, unfortunately, due to retirement. Everybody else is basically the same. We're going to call heads on the toss. We have won the toss. We're going to bat first. So this has just been a very bizarre innings. We started so well. We were about, I think if I can remember this correctly, we were none for 83 after the first 6 overs in the power play. Then Follett was the first wicket to go at none for 101. Then we were 3 for 102, 4 for 106, 5 for 135. Then the 6th wicket fell. Then we didn't score another run to be all out for 146. If we go to, what is it called? Here is the last 2 overs. Dot ball, 1, wicket, chance, dot ball, wicket. We just got absolutely crushed by Peter, who is actually leading the first class wicket takers so far with Derbyshire and with Reese, who have not come across yet in this series. Hasn't really bowled at all in first class cricket. He's been batting pretty well, has to be said. Doesn't really have that good of a record, to be honest, with the ball. But spin and medium pace has just absolutely crushed us and slowed us down. Muhammad Amir, former Pakistan quick, we had absolutely no problem with. And Anuj Dal, who was their opening bowler, we absolutely crushed him. None for 60 or 4 overs. But it wasn't until the game slowed down that we just got destroyed with the ball. I'm a little concerned how it's all going to go. If we have a look at their batting lineup, which is not actually something we looked at before, they've got Reese, Harry Kane, who's had a really good start in the first class stuff. Doesn't really have a outstanding T20 record. Wayne Madsen has played a handful of T20s for England before, has an okay record. Brooke Guest, he's okay. Matt Lamb, not phenomenal. David Lloyd, we've already covered. He's not that outstanding. Ross Whiteley, who I remember all the way back from Cricket Captain 2010, he's still playing. Not very good anymore. Samit Patel, former Test cricketer, he's at number 9. Anuj Dal, who we covered, Nakab Peter, and Muhammad Amir. So they need 147 to win. We were going at about 10 runs and over. They really only need about 7.5. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. I hope we can get a result. I don't like our chances though. What does the predictor say? Yeah, Derbyshire, 81% chance of winning. I dare say that'll probably happen. Somehow we get a victory here. We win by 19 runs. They were on track with the run rate, but just ran out of wickets. The bowling card will tell the story. Had them 5 for 101. We had them 4 for 40 at the end of the power play, so we were in a really good spot. And then Russell's first over went for 25, and I was a little bit nervous. But I was really happy with how we bowled, especially in this back end of the innings. So both our innings and Derbyshire's innings just crashed in the second half. I'm just very happy with how we bowled, except for that mini partnership in the middle between Lamb and Lloyd. Went for about 60, but outside of that, I was really happy with how we played. And if we have a look at the table, Prithvi Shaw got man of the match, and we get 2 points for that as well. We're currently sitting in second place. Obviously, this is still, a very preliminary look at things. Each team plays 14 games. Net run rate does matter, and I think we've gotten off to a good start. Hopefully, we can continue our good work. Who we have now? We've got Nottinghamshire away. I don't see a reason to change anything just yet. Did Nottinghamshire, they are currently, I'm looking at the wrong thing. They haven't played yet, so we are their first game. I think they're going to have a decent squad. Let's see how we go. They have got, I believe that's Will Young, Jack Haynes, Ben Duckett, Moores, Clark. Alex Hale's batting at 6, which seems a little out of place. Hutton, Ahmed, and Lister. Deck's looking pretty flat. I think we call heads on the toss. We've been put into bowl. I'm feeling pretty confident considering the bowling performance we had last time. Predictor has not just, but it's basically 50-50 with 1% being a tie. But I'm very excited to get into this. I think we're going to be fine. But Farhan Ahmed, I must say, in his first couple of first-class games, he's only 16, 30 wickets at 36. One to keep an eye on for the future. It was looking like it was going to be a pretty good bowling performance, but then this last over from Sanderson was a bit of a killer. 1 dot ball, 2 sixes in a row, thick edge for 4. We eventually got Harrison out for 22. But yeah, not an ideal way to finish with 17 runs coming off the final over. But we had them, it was 4 for 100 at one point then. A nice partnership in the middle once again between Joe Clark and Alex Hales, who played very well in the middle order, has to be said. Alex Russell was the best bowler, 4 for 30. Agar was good early, but then got tapped around a little bit. Sanderson, we've already touched on, was expensive, and this time, no wickets out of the new ball. I'm still feeling a little bit bullish that we can win this game. I almost pressed autoplay. Knots have got 78% chance of winning, 78.5% chance of winning. We'll just see what happens. Hopefully we can get a decent result. I'm not optimistic that we can get this done though. Nottinghamshire are a very good side. Well, after the first over that Follett's just had, I'm feeling a little bit more confident. 4-4, thick edge for 4, 4-6-4. Who was the bowler again? Brett Hutton, excuse me. Did he ever play for Northamptonshire? He did. I thought I recognised him. But yeah, 26 off of the first over. Follett striking at 433. Now that we've got that, Predictor has us down to the 40% chance of winning. If we can have a few more overs like this, I think we're within a real shot. Unfortunately, it's another lower order collapse. This time we can't get the win. We were doing so well. We were fourth actually for 148 to go all out for 153. If we go to just the last 3 overs, wicket for wicket dot wicket 1 dot chance wicket. Farhan Ahmed, as we said, it's his first T20 debut. 5 for 22, 16 years of age. I believe he's the brother of Rian Ahmed. I'm not 100% certain, but one to keep an eye on for the future. But apart from that first over from Follett, he actually did end up with a 50, so he's maiden T20 50, which is great to see. 10 fours and a 6, 54 of 25. Vasconcelos was okay. Keogh and Zabe were okay in the middle order. Nobody else really stood out. We had 4 ducks basically consecutively at the end of the innings. We lose by 35 runs. Ahmed gets the player of the game, and that sends us all the way down to 6th in the group with a really bad, or not really bad, a negative net run rate. We obviously want to be in the positive, as far above 0 as we possibly can be. Ashton Agar has now been selected by the Australian T20 team, so we are forced to make a change. And I dare say what we'll do is we will bring in Sidar Cow. I'm not exactly sure how to say his name, but I think we may make him an opening bowler, or we could bring in Raza. He's in okay bowling form, and he does sort of replace the all-round qualities of Agar batting-wise. In saying that, Agar has gotten 2 consecutive ducks and is in really bad batting form. So we might actually go with Raza instead, and also keeps the spin option that we had. So I think this is what we're going to go with. We might drop Willie down a position in the batting order. We'll move Raza up to 6. Zabe can bat at 7. Willie at 8. I think this is the lineup we are going to go with. We now go Yorkshire at home. 7th versus 6th. I'm hopeful we can get a result. Toss of the coin. We have won the toss. I dare say we bat first, even though we are at home and it's a pacing pitch. I want to get as many runs on the board as we can. If we go to the predictor, basically 50-50. Predicted score is 174. So if we can get around the 180, 190 mark or above, that would be great. But even if we do get the predicted score of 174, that is not something I'm going to complain about. But we just have to bowl well and don't have a really bad collapse like we've done in both games so far. 20 overs in the books, and 192 is basically right around the mark of what I wanted to make. Prithvi Shaw and Vasconcelos both made 72. Unfortunately, Shaw did get out not too long ago. Vasconcelos ended unbeaten on 72. 4 fours, 5 sixes. Bapara, 19 off 9. Follett, 29 off 18, was very good in the power play as well. I didn't really go over the Yorkshire side in the pre-game, as, to be perfectly honest, I forgot. I haven't really got another reason. Shan Masood, Adam Lyth, Joe Root, David Malan. We haven't seen him for a little while. He is first class and test retired. He's only going to be playing one day and T20 cricket from now on. That's probably why we didn't see him last time. Finley Bean. Donovan Ferreira is their overseas player. I believe he is a T20 only contract. George Hill, Lilly, Jaffa Chohan, who I must say I'm not familiar with his work. Ben Code and Benjamin Cliff, who hasn't got a great record, but he's only played a handful of games. Very excited to see how we go in trying to defend this total. Just under 10 runs and over needed for Yorkshire. We've got the pitch on our side. I'm confident. Let's go. What a bowling performance by Raza. 6 for 21. The best thing about this was two of his first 3 balls went for 6. And then after that, 6 for 9. He was amazing. Sanderson took 2 wickets but was expensive. Russell Really, really good in the 2.5 overs he bowled. He was 2 for 14. David Willey and Scrimshaw, both of our opening bowlers, unfortunately did not chip in with the wickets. Scrimshaw got 3 for 28 against Derbyshire. Didn't get any wickets last time around. Didn't get any wickets today. Willey, same sort of deal. And then Sanderson has been okay. Got 2 for 45 in the last match as well. So at least he's consistent. But we were all on top of Yorkshire. They didn't really get within a sniff of winning this one. Raza, 6 for 21, as I mentioned, gets player of the game. Shoots us back up to third. Gets us back in the positive net run rate. I'm going to go have one more game today. It's up against Worcestershire, who I believe, I was about to say have not lost. They just lost. But they were sitting in first position before. Nottinghamshire are now in first place. We're now in second. It's at home, so we are in with a chance. I think we go unchanged once again. No real reason to do anything too drastic. We've won 2, we've lost 1 to start the T20 portion of the season. I think we call heads. We've been put into bowl. We'll have a quick look at the Worcestershire side before I forget. Josh Cobb, I know, used to play for us many seasons ago. Always a good one-day player, never really quite cracked it as a first-class player. Has a horrible bowling record. Ed Pollock, can't say I've heard of you, don't really have a record to support it. Jake Libby, no. Adam Hose, I have heard of you. He's got an okay record at T20 and one-day level. Kashif Ali, really good one-day record, only from the 13 appearances. Gareth Roderick, who's their wicketkeeper, really good record. Tom Taylor, averages 50 at T20 level, but averages 50 at one-day level, but 20 at first class. That is interesting. I was going to say they don't have a international player, but they've got one. So they got 2. Nathan Smith, who looks pretty good. And then, I was about to say Salsa. Slacer has only played the 4 T20 matches for 3 wickets, but he goes at 11, which we could potentially use to our advantage. But we need to bowl well, because I want to be 3-1 to start the T20 season. Hopefully we can pull that off. We held them really well for about 16 overs, and then just this last, actually might have been a little bit more than 16, a little bit less, sorry, maybe 15 overs. But then just this last little period just shot them into the 190s, when it was looking like for the majority of the innings they were going to be making around 160. Roderick was really good, 42 off 16. He hit 5 fours and 3 sixes. Ali finishes 49 not out. Libby got a half century of only 135 deliveries. But their top order soaked up a lot of dot balls early, but then Ali and Roderick shot them into the stratosphere. Bowling wise, I mean, Scrimshaw took 3 wickets but was expensive. Willey wasn't too bad. Sanderson again, no wickets. Raza can't repeat his efforts from the last game. And Russell got 1 for 37. I'm a little nervous about chasing 190. The last time we tried to do that at home, we lost. We'll see what happens. 9.5 and over. We did score that in the last game, but that was batting first, not second. We've got to swing hard in T20s. It's sort of go hard or die trying. Let's see what we can do, because 3-1 sounds a lot better than 2-2. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it done. We stay 2-2. We get to 2-2, I should say, on the season in the Vitality Blast. Chris Follett actually carried his bat through the innings. We were off to a terrible start. We were 2 for 14 actually at the end of the first over. We were 2 for 2 at one point, then 4 for 28. And then there was a really good partnership once we got 8 down actually between Alex Russell and Follett. It was a little 29-run partnership, which gave me a little bit of hope that we could chase down 190. Yeah, it just wasn't to be, unfortunately. Slasser was awesome. Picked up 4 wickets, as was Brooks with his opening spell. Waite and Taylor each got 1. Follett got his second T20 50, so that is something to write home about. But again, just losing too many wickets too consecutively. And that puts us, at least at this stage, outside the knockout stage, or the playoff stage at this point of the Vitality Blast, as we now have 4 more games. That'll be the next episode of this series. If we have a look, there's Derbyshire away, Worcestershire away, Warwickshire away, Leicestershire at home, and then there's 2 county games, and then I believe there's the rest of the Blast, and then the One Day Cup. So that will be very interesting, but we'll go through training. There is one training session to pick up. We'll just give that to Prithvi Shaw to make sure his batting form continues, because we desperately need him and our top order to keep scoring runs, because our bowlers not really doing it for us so far. I mean, Sanderson not doing good, Willie's not doing well, Raza, I mean, a lot of those stats have been from the IPL, but Russell's been good. Scrimshaw's actually been very good, just economically not sound. Agar was really good in the 2 games he played for us. But it's just the top order, man. It's just absolutely killing us. But that will do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.